This guy thinks he is small, even though he is massive. This is happening more and more, and there's even a name for it. Bigorexia. Why are we never happy with our bodies? Bigorexia, never buff enough.
So the opposite of anorexia.
And this also sounds kind of dangerous.
Around 9 million people have gym memberships in the UK. Many might never step foot inside, but for others, it's a second home. At first look, some of these guys seem like giants, but although they may seem fit and healthy, around 1 in 10 are thought to be living with a condition that can destroy their lives.
Muscle dysmorphia is a preoccupation with the idea that one isn't big enough, isn't muscular enough.
Arms just aren't big enough in comparison to my chest and my back.
Pradeep is 25. He lives alone in a flat in East London and identifies with having bigorexia.
He actually looks massive.
I think 98% of the people are like, yo, this is dream physique.
So it's obviously a mental thing, a mental illness that can lead to depression because you just think you're never good enough. I'm so interested to see the rise of these statistics during the social media age.
Exactly, because you see all those perfect physiques on social media, like, yo, this is the standard, everybody has to look like that, and then you're comparing yourself to like insane, sometimes even edited physiques, and you're like, I'm not good enough.
I could critique myself all day in this mirror, and the thing is, I haven't even turned to the back.
Do you ever feel too small?
Of course.
It could even be that he's just comparing himself to his last pump.
Fun fact about the pump is always your future self. You never get as big as your pump.
It's just a pump loop. You get a pump, want to be as big as your pump all the time, get bigger, now your pump is bigger and it starts from the beginning. Or you just always have a pump.
Yeah.
Bro.
And I mean, some feeling of dissatisfaction is very normal, like everybody has that.
And it's good to drive progress.
I always feel small. Already I feel I'm spending too much time from the mirror. In the morning I would look at it, I would just leave. Now the more I look at it, the more I'm disliking the way I'm not. How can anyone love or enjoy what is here? It boggles my mind because I myself don't like what I'm seeing because I've just critiqued it so much. I've taken a visual red marker and analyzed every single part.
Do you ever feel disgusted by the way you look?
There are days I feel disgusted, and those days happen when I have not been consistent with the work that is required of me to reach a goal.
He's very open and self-aware about the problem, which is always interesting. We've had a lot of these videos where people know the problem, but they just don't know how to fix it. We just got into the video, so maybe there are fixes. He's so self-aware. What would he be doing to fix this?
Looking at Pradeep, it's hard to see what he's seeing. His biceps are 3 times the size of mine.
We in some degree also have bigorexia, but it's like, we are still happy. We're like, yo, I mean, I look pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm happy walking around without a shirt.
Exactly, yeah, there's 100 things I want to improve, but at the same time, I also know we probably look better than 99% of the world.
It's a combination of being pretty satisfied, like, yo, I'm pretty happy, but also like, there are some things to improve.
Mo owns a gym in West Yorkshire. The guys here are absolutely massive. He's convinced many of his regulars have muscle dysmorphia, and some are prepared to go that little bit further to get bigger. How many people who train here do you think use in your gym?
Easily 70%. I think it's a growing thing. I think we've got to be honest about it, open about it.
I was about to say, I think the guy is natural, but if you are like so unhappy with your own body, the step to take
secret juice
is so small.
Taking
secret juice
can be the solution in your head.
And again, it's probably a loop because then you take the secret juice and you think you're too small again.
Although steroids can cause baldness, shrunken testicles, and high blood pressure, for some they're a quick and easy way to get ripped.
Most big guys, they will be putting in even more work than people that are natural because they now need to perform. It needs to be worth it, and they are putting in the work. Though there is research that if you work out for 12 weeks straight, or you don't work out, but you do take the secret juice, that taking the secret juice will actually give you more gains. But that's not to convince you to take it. Don't take it, stay natural forever.
Yes.
Sarah believes her son Ollie had bigorexia, and it ended up taking over his life.
It was his height. It was always his height. He'd always say, oh no, I'm not going to get a girlfriend. Look at size of me and say, well, there's not wrong with you. You're beautiful, you're gorgeous.
In a bid to get bigger, Ollie started taking
secret juice.
Then when he was 18, he had a heart attack. But within a month of coming out of hospital, Ollie was back in the gym, determined to get bigger. Then, aged 20, Ollie had another heart attack. This time, it was fatal.
There's so many people taking the secret juice right now that you will never know about, also because they don't look like they're taking it. Most people in the world that are taking the secret juice right now, they could look like that natural if they put in the work, and it will be 100 times healthier for them.
Ollie's mum told me there's too much pressure on guys to try and look a certain way.
There are all these media pressures around now And one of our theories is that it might actually be that women maybe have actually adjusted a little bit and become better prepared than men to deal with all these images and these pressures, and that men are probably going to have to catch up a bit in terms of coping with the pressure to look a certain way.
So beauty standards kind of changed because of social media, and that is a very subjective thing as well. But if you want to get there the fastest, it's going to be a very unhealthy way.
Sam's 21. He says he had bigorexia when he was younger, but got through it. Right now, he's in training for the regional heats of the UK Bodybuilding Championships.
21? If you would say he's 35, I would believe it.
What is it about being big which appeals to you so much?
I just think it looks awesome, to be honest. To me, it's what a man should look like, you know, muscular, big, powerful, strong.
How old are you in that pic?
I'm about 10, 11 in that picture.
Oh, wow.
I was about 13 stone.
Did you ever get picked on for being overweight?
Yeah, I did. I mean, especially from the ages of probably 12 to 15, 12 to 14, yeah.
Sometimes the heaviest thing we lift is our feels.
Whoa.
And to this day, a lot of those people who call me fat back then are now paying me for diet plans, you know, and asking me for diet plans. So, who's won, you know?
It's not a game, it's not a game.
No.
It's for you, man, it's not a game.
If you have been bullied in a pretty serious way, then your approach and your mindset when it comes to this can really be like, yo, look at me now.
If I would say, I mean, I don't know how severely bullied he was, of course. I've been bullied as well. I was fat as well. I would say I'm more turned into like, I am the person that I am right now because of everything that happened before. So I don't see it as a positive or negative thing. I just see it as a neutral thing where it's like, yeah, I got bullied. Yeah, I got bullied, but it's part of the process. That's why I'm here now. If he's so focused on others, he should maybe, you know, really start doing this for himself, and maybe then he sees, wait, I don't need to be the biggest. I can also look amazing and be healthier and live longer.
But looking back at the change I've made, I feel really proud, you know.
It's actually very interesting that they're showing this. This is the other side. He is taking
Secret juice.
and he's feeling better.
Yeah, about himself as well. Like
Mentally.
He feels confident, he feels like big, and he has the body he wants.
Yes, he looks better, I think, but he looks so old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, if he now is 10 times happier than he was, and he knows the risks, good for this guy.
Why do some men develop muscle dysmorphia and others don't is a bit of a $6 million question, but there are seem to be some themes, such as people being bullied or teased earlier in their lives. It might be that if you've got a family member who's got another psychiatric condition, maybe OCD or depression, that might be a vulnerability factor.
To be honest, the UK just seems depressing as what the
That's because of all the BBC documentaries about negative stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also some fun stuff in the UK. The UK is cool.
like Gymshark or My Protein, links in description.
Why do you think the condition's not taken perhaps as seriously as it should be?
Because it's so similar than a sort of vanity, and it's much more like an obsession.
Other symptoms of bigorexia include putting the gym before your friends and family, training while injured, and feeling panicked if you miss a session.
It's so hard with this sport because if you talk about any other sport, you have the same things. Like if you talk about an athlete that's just training for like a 100-meter sprint, then you think, oh, it's pretty normal if you put training before your friends because it's your job and it's your thing and you have to do your training. And if you miss a session, then you can feel sad that you missed a session because it's like a training less.
Honestly, everything you just named, I feel all those things. I do feel a bit bad or less happy if I skip a workout. I do sometimes rather get my workout in and skip a birthday, but I don't see it as a bad thing.
Do you think there's a reason for your muscle dysmorphia?
My parents always endorsed giving 100% in whatever you do. So from a young age, it was, you studied really hard. You give 110%, and an A was enough, it should be an A++. So in whatever endeavor I do, I always give more than is acceptable by anyone else.
Indian dude honestly has the perfect amount of muscle. Exactly.
He looks insane.
He looks really good.
He says he's managing his bigorexia a lot better now, but you have to wonder if he'll ever be truly happy and what effect growing old will have on his ability to sculpt the perfect body.
Do you think you'll always have muscle dysmorphia? It's something you just have to learn to live with.
I'll be happy to a certain degree, but not completely. I'll still say I've only hit 90% of my potential. I want the other 10%.
I think he definitely suffered from bigorexia, but I think they're interviewing him right now at a point where he has just accepted it. I think he's in a better place mentally than maybe like a year ago, that he can be happy with how he looks, but that he will always be critiquing himself. The day you started lifting is the day you become forever small, because you will never be as big as you want to be.
That is actually a great quote, and there's some truth in that.
And again, that's part of the sport. You check out the original videos for covering this, so make sure you check those out as well.
Some of these guys do literally anything to get as big as possible.
And some people actually do everything in order to live as long as possible. If you want to see what these guys are doing on how they're kind of reversing age, then make sure you check this out. Subscribe, smash the link, and hit that bell. And make sure to download the app.